Boy, my hat's always crooked. How we doing? Oh boy, how we? I almost needed a nap this morning. I was up. I don't sleep real good too much anymore. I don't know. I've been up since 3, 4. I finally managed to get to the gym, and then of course I had lunch, and now I'm doing this. And in between lunch and doing this, I might have, I might have been thinking about those. And hey, Metal says after last night, I've seen enough. Fire Paul trade. Everyone move to Quebec. Start to rebuild. Hey, Mike. Hey, Rosen. How you doing, bud? Mm. All right, let's get this show going. Oh man. So forehead's still all sunburnt. It's not too bad. It's not too bad, but it's still very tender. It's peeling. It's peeling. It is what it is. So last night, what do we have? Not much anything, right? We get one goal. We get one goal. Bob looked pretty decent. Spencer Knight looked pretty decent. Jonas Johansson looked like a brick wall. He did that to us last year, I think, in the preseason too, right? You know, I Chucky looked good. He looked good in the middle of the ice a little bit. Barkov and Forsling, they kind of look like not interested. Every time the camera was on Forsling's face, I saw he just looked like irritated as hell. Like, I can't believe I got to be out here. Hey, Beer League, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, bud? Hold on a second. Let me blow up my chat so I can see it here, so I can see what you all are saying. Michael says partnership with the Cats soon. I think so. I just got a Panthers ad loading into the stream. Interesting. So an ad for the Panthers, like buying season tickets or something on this stream. That's interesting. Metal says Johansson saw more quantity than quality. Yeah. Hey, look, after the Patrick Laine thing, the only thing I was interested in seeing was making sure that we got off the ice completely healthy. That's it. I didn't see every minute of the game, obviously, because I was busy watching the Dolphins get just absolutely obliterated. But I saw enough. I saw enough to see enough. I like Giles, man. He's got some talent. And I guess from what Maurice said, Nosek is not close to even skating. So I think Giles is going to get that spot. And I think I don't know what they're going to do with Samoskevich and Boquist, that whole situation. Michael says there's a season opener ad, right? Exactly. Yeah, the Dolphins it's bad. It's bad. It's hockey. It's a hockey podcast, so I don't want to go off on a Dolphins rant. But you see behind me, it's all Panthers with the one exception of the Miami Miracle. The Dolphins are like the wife that has cheated on you for like 40 straight years, and you just stay with them for the sake of the kids. You know what I mean? That's what the Dolphins are. Like, the Dolphins are like, you just stay with her and you just go do your own thing because the divorce that cost you billions of dollars. It's so bad. It's so bad. Metal says McCallagher, Skog, Ocular. Yeah, that sounds about right. There's only so many spots, right? And I think, we're already going to have Boquist taking Samuskevich's spot probably. And then, we'll have to see how all that shakes out. If he's going to, if he's going to be able to claim that spot or not. But like I said yesterday, I like the way Boquist looked. I like the way Boquist defense, the brother, right? Adam. I like the way he looked last night. He had a little bit of jump. Who else? Lockwood was out there. Greer showed well. Greer definitely showed well. And yeah, I'm happy with the depth pieces that we have. We went to a whole season last year where, after Ekblad and Montour came back, we didn't lose anybody for the year, right? I mean, technically, Lockwood never came back from the concussion. But that wasn't like a big piece. There was nobody that we really lost for any length of time, right? I know Bennett at the or sometime, was it around the beginning of the Tampa series with Bennett, right? But other than that, I mean, we just stayed so healthy. That you kind of got to figure, the number is due a little bit, right? It might even out just a little bit. So I like the depth that we have. Find a piece of wood to knock on. Well, I was saying it last year, for this year, we kind of already seen Nosek, Samiskevich. So that it's not too bad. We signing Nosek to be the 4C. But if guys can work out, I like them. Now, there's a big difference between looking good in the preseason and being a Stanley Cup Finals caliber center. So we'll have to see how that all plays out during the season. Bolivar says, if there were words to describe that Dolphins game to be said, pathetic, fire Greer, and cancel the season. When they made it 6-0, in fact, I think when they made it 3-0, I just looked at Kyle and I just said, we're going to lose to the Titans. Yep. Hey, Zach, thank you, bud. Much appreciated. Thank you, brother. Tip of the hat to you. Much appreciated. I think I'm going to be changing it from yanking the hat off and waving it all over the place. Just the tip of the hat, because especially at the end of games, I think it gets a little bit annoying for some people. I always want to acknowledge the super chats, but I think we're going to just take it down just a notch because you guys are so generous at the end of games. I think some people, I think it ends up like just 10 minutes of us waving our hats. He says, excited for another season. We need to start a stream fund so you can pick up one of the championship belts if they're still available. Much love. Hey, I appreciate that, Zach. I haven't seen that. I don't live down there, so I all my shopping's online. I did manage obviously to finally remember to get the hat. And Tom sent us the sign, and there's a couple more things that came in. I did not get a chance. Remember last year, I did not get a chance to. I had said everything was going to get remade. I was going to remake the room and all of that. That kind of just got stopped because I was going to remake the room. Originally, I was going to remake the room to make it easier for Ellie and Fluffy to get around. And then I was going to remake the room to make it easier so that Fluffy could get on, the couch with us. And then none of that applied. And so I just haven't had the motivation to remake the room because the main reasons to do it no longer are with us. So it's not a whole lot that's changed. And I kind of figure, well, we'll just pick up where we left off last year. We'll just leave the room kind of the way it was, have the same juju, and then over the course of the year, as things progress, we'll make little changes here or there. Zach says, that's where I got mine online, was $550 plus shipping, but I believe it now it's been dropped to $275. Wow. Metal says the best is when someone donates during a ferocious rant and then gets interrupted by that. Yeah. So plus with this hat, like this hat, the last year's hat, it's very, very well made. It's Reebok. It's very well made. It can stand the abuse. This hat, as you can see it's like, it doesn't even, like, this is like exposed foam. It's Fanatics. If I start taking this thing off and waving it around, it won't last the full year. I can tell that already. So, well, and Kyle will be happy about that because he hates taking off the hat and putting it back on because it messes up his hair. I don't have that problem. Right now, the sunburn has extended to the top of my head and everything like that. So, yeah, Michael says I don't like the quality of the championship hats. Yeah, it's these unfortunately, even though we lost, this was much better. This was a much nicer design. It's sleeker. It's not clunky. This kind of feels a little bit clunky. You know what I mean? And I haven't found anything else other than this. And I didn't find anything other than this. So I don't know why there was such a limited quantity or selection available, but I guess eventually something will turn up. Metal, yeah, exactly. Brought to you by Fanatics, right? Hey Trey, how you doing, brother? Yeah, like the stream where Bob goes back to Russia. Oh no, don't send Bob back to Russia. They'll never let him back in, man. Right, Michael. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't Fanatics. Who was this? No, actually, no, it was. It was. Last year, Fanatics. Last year's hat was Fanatics. Huh. This is way higher quality than this. I mean, this feels like craft board. The bill. See, this is a nicer. It's a little bit more oval, a little bit more circular. The stitching goes all the way around and everything else. This you can see. It's got the stitching comes here and then the stitching comes here, and it's got that white foam exposed. And I know as soon as it gets wet, it's not going to be okay. No, this is such a higher quality hat. It's not even close. But yeah, it was Fanatics. Hey Christian, how you doing? Oh, excuse me a second. My right eye has been twitching every once in a while, so I'll have to deal with that. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I got a tumor. How you doing, Christian? Trey says Fanatics has been doing the merch for years. The jerseys was the only switch this season. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, the quality got a lot worse. That's all I know. It sucks. The quality of the one where we lost is way better. Cannon says worst. Wait a minute, I lost the chat. Here we go. Worst bubble screen of the year last night. Picked a good time to not live stream. You're not kidding. You're not kidding. I had such a bad headache anyway because I'm working all day on the computer. So by the time the game started, trying to watch the hockey game, trying to watch the Dolphin game, had a headache, and so during the Dolphin game, at some point I just closed the hockey game off because my eyes were too tired. And I would just watch a play and then close my eyes, and then watch a play and close my. Because it wasn't worth ruining my eyes to even watch the replays. Trey says the jerseys are actually good because it's the same factory workers in Canada that Adidas was using, but Fanatics merch sucks everywhere. Even the WWE sucks. Shirts suck. That's a shame. Hey Dustin, how you doing, bud? How you doing, Dustin? Michael, your left eye? Yeah, your left eye, my right eye. It'll just start twitching on me. I don't know what's going on. You get old. You're not old, Michael. You shouldn't have these problems. So what else we got? So we didn't look too bad last night. At least Bob looked good. Spencer looked good. The one goal that he gave up was kind of, it was one of those rebound type of deals where it's just like it just kind of like plopped in the right spot. And was it Balinskis? No, it was Giles Balinskis kind of lost his man a little bit in front. He couldn't get to the rebound, and then Giles, he let his man get past him and put the pop in there. So that was a little bit. I've liked his play, and anybody can get beat, but that happened. And then of course the Bob goal was just a fluky thing from way out far. Perfectly placed shot, but it was just a knuckleball. Yeah, University of Miami is 5-0. Yep. So Dustin says, I'm ready for hockey. Football been kind of a letdown, not entertaining. Yeah. Even the regular games, not the Dolphin games, but it's just I'm so sick of the penalties with football. It's been bad. It has just been. Kyle and I watched the Red Zone on Sunday. We watched the 1:00 games of the Red Zone, and when they had like 4 or 6 games up, every single time, there was at no point where we had 6 games up and somebody wasn't having a flag. It's been terrible. Mike says, I haven't watched any preseason. How does Drieger look? Is it going to be night or Drieger? No, it's night. It's night. It's night. I'm not saying that Drieger's. I like Drieger because of what he meant for us in the past, but he is not the same goalie. He is not the same goalie. Let's put it this way. From what I've seen of Drieger this preseason and what I saw of Jonas Johansson last night, that's all I'm going to say. No, it's night. It's not a competition. And night looks good, and that's fine. That's what we need. That's what we want. I mean, look, Drieger got put in. Michael's asking if Drieger looks that bad. He got put into some situations where, we're playing a bunch of kids. So it's not all his fault, but his glove doesn't look. There was at least 3 goals that I saw where it was just like the puck just goes past him and he didn't even move his glove. So there's that. Let's see. Colin says, yeah, Finn's Nation, let's tank the National Flag League. Now, you're not wrong there, Dustin. Trey says, I got the Cup Champs flag, and it's all right, but nowhere near the quality of the flag I bought from you. And that shit was made in 97. Yeah, the flag, the flag you bought from me was made in the United States. That's also the thing. All that merch that I bought, that I still have a few shirts left. The shirts are high quality. Like the ones that are mine that I took from the merchandise, you wash them, you dry them, you wash them, you dry them. It stays the same size. It keeps its form. There's no like threadbare spots. I mean, they're thick, good shirts. That was heavy duty, high quality merchandise that I stole from that guy. Yeah, Metal says the Yellow Flag Company is making big bags. That's right. That's for sure. Metal says, I like to see the same lineup with Drieger and Net to see how he does with RD. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with how Spencer Knight looks. Michael says it sucks. Well, the thing with Drieger is he's had a lot of injuries, right? He's had trouble staying healthy. I think he was in the AHL last year. So, but look, who knows, right? Like Metal is saying, hopefully we don't need to see him, right? Because then that means we got 2 problems. But if he did somehow get into a game, when you're with the Panthers' structured defense, it's going to look different than it would during, preseason. The way I would put it is that if something happened to Bob, I would have faith in Spencer Knight to at least be able to win us some playoff games and maybe even help us win a series. Drieger, not so much. I think that's how I would, that's how I would lay it out there. Hey, Dobie, you guys are back, little bolts. Didn't Johansson? I think last year Johansson shut us out in the preseason. I think I remember that. Somebody can tell me if my memory is wrong there. I don't know what the deal is with the Monday night doubleheader, man. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know how that supposedly makes them more money. So I honestly don't know. Kenneth says, you say tank now, but wait until they go undefeated in December. Oh, God. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen with that team. McDaniel is so unprepared and overmatched and over his head. And once teams figured out his scheme, and it's just gone bad. It's just gone bad. Michael says, at least Knight looks good. He's the future, so that's the best outcome. Yes, absolutely agree. Trey says, if anyone remembers, Stolar's first starts were bad, and he finished the year with better numbers than Bob. Now, that's true. That's true. I very much remember, I think in one of the recaps, talking about I was not happy with what I'd seen from Stolar's at that point. He had rebound control issues at the beginning of the season. Remember that? He definitely is an example of a guy that worked on something in season and made a big difference. Jameson says, I'm not thrilled that the Panthers have to play 7 preseason games, along with the fact that we have to go to Quebec City to play the Kings. Who set that up? The Quebec City thing, I don't know. I have no idea what that situation is all about. Like, why set up something like that for preseason games? I think that's why, and Maurice had touched on this. He had said, like, the previous games, that's why he was playing so many kids, because we play so many preseason games. But it's coming to it. I mean, what do we got? We got 2 more, right? 2 more. What is it? Wednesday and Friday? Let me look. I think that's what we got is 2 more. Yeah, tomorrow is Wednesday, right? Yeah, Wednesday and Saturday. And that's the one we got to travel for. And then we got the Bruins and Corpusalo on the 8th. So I think I heard Goldie say last night that last night was their last preseason broadcast. So I don't even know if the other games are going to be on ESPN Plus or not, or although I guess the one in Quebec City should be on TV somewhere, right? Kenny says Bettman tossing a scrap to Quebec City to appease them for another year. Gotcha. Okay. What Dustin says, Marie said he's putting the best lines for the Kings game Saturday. And that's per Jameson Olive. Okay, so then most likely we'll see our starters on Saturday. Is Samoskevich like what's the deal with that dude? Right? He went from, I think he'll be ready in a couple of days to he just has disappeared. I haven't heard anything about him. What's going on? Not that any of you know any more than me, but I'm hardly on Twitter anymore these days. So there's things that I don't catch up on. Hey guys. Oh, good point. He says, sorry I'm late. Did someone mention the NHL Stanley Cup film that's on ESPN Plus today? No, but I remember I was going to try to remind myself to remember to talk about that. Yeah, it's on ESPN Plus. So if I decide that I'm going to watch that tonight, which I probably will, I guess, yeah, that's the Stanley Cup final, the whole thing, the regular season, the playoffs, and then the cup win and all the behind the scenes stuff. Yeah. So if you're out of state, you have to have ESPN Plus to watch the games anyway. I had thought about maybe doing a naughty thing and like streaming it with y'all, but I don't want to take a chance. Like, I've never been in any kind of trouble, right, with the channel. Like if I streamed it and then deleted the video, you know what I mean? Like streamed it with you guys and then deleted the video. Maybe the bots wouldn't catch it, but I don't know. I know I couldn't do it on Facebook. So, because that's a lot to watch. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch it and record it. And then maybe then that way I can do, I can do a review on it or whatever. I don't know. I got to see what the logistics, um, copyright wise, are on something like that. Let's see. Yeah, Colin says every Panthers game's for regular season on ESPN Plus. Exactly. Yeah, it'd be nice. Do they do that on a regular basis, Eyes? Do they release them on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever? Frank says Sammy is getting in the work with Hornquist. My guess Maurice doesn't want to rush him back. Now, that's true, but that's what he said 10 days ago. 10 days ago, he said he'd be back in a couple of days. Somebody, Eyes had said something about doesn't look like starters for tomorrow. Gotcha. Sam Iskevich is skating today. No contact still. Yeah, he's not going to be in the opening line. We're going to have Jesper Boquist on that line. I says, do a watch long. You don't have to stream it. Just stream yourself watching it, and we'll all sync up. Yeah, I'd have to. Let me think about that. Let me think about that. I think about how I want to do that. I'd have to do that up here, because I'd have to stream with this laptop and watch it on the other one, because both laptops, I love my laptops. I'm not complaining about my laptops, God, but both of them, if I'm streaming and I try to play video for you guys on the same laptop, it can't handle it. Even the one that I paid to get upgraded, I don't know if it's just my internet is just barely, salvageable enough to just do a regular stream. But anytime, even if I'm trying to record a video and I want to show video that I'm talking about, it gets all glitchy and everything. So it's both laptops. So it's got to be my internet is just barely can handle. So I'll consider that, Eyes. I'll consider that. I'm trying to save my voice a little bit, because tomorrow I do the opening day intro, and you know what that means. But we'll see how it goes. I had forgotten that that was happening tonight. How do I like the Ducks and Kings new threads? I haven't seen them. Let me see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, yeah, no, I had seen the Ducks. Yeah, I remember seeing the Ducks here. I don't dislike it. What's the other patch? I'm looking at the picture of Gudis's, because Gudis is the captain now for the Ducks. What's that patch that looks like two V's? Is that like an advertising patch for whatever sponsor that they have? And then what was the other team? The Kings? I think I'd seen the Kings too over the summer too. I just forget. Let's see. Let me see. New Jersey. All right, so let me see. Come on, open it up already. Phone is taking its sweet time here. It won't open it up. Let me see. Oh, okay. I like the white. I'm not a big fan of the black one. If that's the new one, I'm not a huge fan of that, because it's got that big, thick waist stripe. If that's the new one, I see one without that. I'm seeing a bunch, so I'm not sure which one. Oh, here we go. They unveil the new uniforms. Well, show it to me. Yeah, not a fan. Not a fan with the big, thick white band there. I like the logo. I like that. And everybody's got some kind of advertising patch on them now. So, all right, I'm sure I missed a bunch of the chat. I'm just going to go to the bottom here. Yeah, Toronto House Milk. Yeah, it's a sponsor, right? Ducks look like traffic cone. Yeah, I like the retro logo. Yeah. Name this. Canada says, name this stream Cooking with Jaws or something to throw the bots off. That's actually, I mean, it's not a bad idea except for not the Jaws part. Because 2 years in a row, I have forgotten and I've tried to do something and then I remembered I can't do it. I've tried to create merch with like with Jaws on it, my nickname Jaws. I've tried to create, but I can't because the freaking name is copyrighted. I ended up with a copyrighted nickname. So like I've tried to do things on Amazon and on Teespring to make, and I can't, they won't let me do it. Even if I do it as instead of like text, even if I do it as like a picture of the word Jaws as my name, the bots catch it and they remove the listing instantly. So yeah. Dustin says Sam Skevich playing with Lundell and Itu. That was the plan. But he has been hurt and been out the entire time. And so Jesper Bohlquist appears as though he's got that spot. I mean, if Sam Skevich is still in a no contact jersey, that's to me what that sounds like. If I'm going to play devil's advocate here, is it sounds like Maurice loves his veterans. We all know that. And when Sam Skevich got hurt, sounds to me like Maurice saw an opportunity to take your time, kid. Don't worry. I got this veteran over here named Bohlquist that I'll gladly give your spot to. And I think that's what's happened. Now, I don't know what the upper body injury with Sam Skevich is, but, we may see two things happen in the opposite way. Sam Skevich was supposed to have that spot. He's a rookie. He loses because of injury. He loses it to Bohlquist. I don't know if he'll get it back. Nosek was supposed to be the 4C. He's the veteran. He gets injured. He's lost that spot to Giles. Probably, maybe, should. Will he get it back? So, again, you never know when you pencil these names in how it's going to go. And it may end up being reversed with Giles taking and keeping the 4C and Bohlquist keeping 3, keeping the third line winger spot there. Because I don't really know if Maurice wants to roll a lineup out there with 2 rookies. So, it kind of doesn't surprise me, especially once Nosek got hurt and Samoskevich was hurt, that Maurice is kind of like, take your time, kid. Don't worry about it. Because he might have already had a feeling he was going to have a rookie at 4C. Hey, so it says, I'm here after having a blast of a time yesterday night watching the Finns get blown to crap out and imagining you pulling whatever's left of your hair out. Nah, I wasn't. I knew by the time we'd had the ball twice. The first play of the game, he takes 2 steps back. I think he hit Hill over the middle, might have hit Waddle over the middle for like 10 or whatever. A decent, and I thought, okay. And then McDaniel went back to being McDaniel, which is to say he's the worst play caller in the NFL. And once I saw, by the time it was 6-0, I was just looking at Kyle and said, we're going to lose this game. We're losing to the Titans. And it was just never close. And, emotionally in terms of the Dolphins, I wouldn't say I'm dead inside because you still care and you still watch, but it just, you have to know what's coming, right? You have to know what's coming. And I don't know what that team is going to do. I don't know what that franchise is going to do. All I can say is that the more I watch the Dolphins and Greer, the more I am thankful for Panthers and Zito. Because if there were ever 2 franchises with the exact polar opposite example of how to build a team and how not to build a team, and the culture of the team to have and what not to have. Those two franchises are the epitome of how to do it and how not to do it. It is a sight to behold. It really is. You know, Chara, what's wrong with the Dolphins team? They to make it short, because it's hockey, the owner. Ross has never been willing to blow the entire thing up where you just fire everybody, hire one guy that's a really good, strong football man, let him hire the rest of the people, let Ross stay the hell out of the way, and be done with it. So unless Ross does that or we get a new owner, the product on the field is going to vary between what we see this year and what we've seen last year, and that's it. That's it. So it is what it is. You know, just enjoy what we have. Enjoy what we have with the Panthers, man. Can't believe that's what I'm saying, but it is just the difference in the general, just the difference in the expectations. Like I said this in the season preview about Zito. It's like I could have clicked off the TV after Game 7 and not paid attention to a damn thing, and clicked on the TV opening night, and the only thing I would have wanted to know is what are the names of the players that Zito picked up, because I know they're going to be good. Like, there's just like full, unconditional, just complete trust there. I don't even need to I pay attention, but I don't need to pay attention. Like in years past, he'd pick up a guy and I'd watch the film and I'd analyze and all of that. It's just like at this point, you're just like, if Bill says he's good, he's good. Is he going to be 100%? No. But we just won the Eastern Conference 2 years in a row. You know what I mean? So obviously we won the cup. So the difference between what Zito has done versus what Chris Grier has done, it's, if you tried to write a story about two brothers separated at birth and how one went one way and one went the other way, you could not write a more opposite story. You know, Phil says you click on the television and mysteriously Lundell is replaced by Claude Giroux. Now look, I can handle the Tippett thing, but no, he ain't going there. Meadow says I got to collab with Fanatic Fury and Larry K. I don't, have I seen? Yeah, I've seen Larry. Yeah, I've seen them a little bit. I don't watch as much. I don't watch a whole lot of Dolphins content anymore. It's, how can I explain it? It's like watching your kid try to wash the car without turning on the hose. And you just kind of stand there, and you might want to turn on the hose. No, I don't need the hose. I wet the sponge. See, what I do is I walk up to the house and I go to the kitchen sink and I wet the sponge, and I come back down and then I wipe the car a little bit, and then I walk back up and I wet the hose and I wet the sponge again with the, and it's like you could just wet the car with the hose. And no, I don't want to wet the car with the hose. That's what it's like watching the Dolphins organization. You just like, I cannot be emotionally invested in the fact that the kid is washing the car with a wet sponge from the kitchen sink. I can't do it. You drive yourself crazy. That's what it's like. I got the best analogies. It makes for good content, but I'm a pain in the ass to live with. Everything is an analogy. It is what it is, right? We all are who we are, right? We can all try to be something we're not, but that don't work either. Trace Frank says Brady Kachuk will be a Florida Panther after Bob's contract comes off the books. Just watch. That's not a bad prediction at all. That's not too bad of a. I wouldn't doubt that for a second, Frank. Right? So what you say? No, Frank. Why not? Why wouldn't I mean when Bob's contract? If Bob retires, Spencer Knight's already got his deal, right? Why not? Colby says, "Do I have my Final Four and Cup final prediction?" Yeah. So yes and no, Colby. I did a Panthers season preview, which has my Cup winner prediction. I'm still doing a season preview. What's today? Tuesday, Thursday. I'm still doing an NHL season preview that'll be out on Thursday. But I already kind of said who I said was going to win the cup, but I will take it through the whole NHL thing but I'll have that out on Thursday. Hey, True, how you doing, Nick? How you doing, buddy? I says, did I hear there's a report that Swayman may demand a trade? I didn't see that, but this has been, my God, again, thank God for Bill Zito, right? How Sweeney, how this dude, and how did they manage to trade Olmark without being in the same ballpark as Swayman? And then on top of the animosity and the aggravation that happened because of what went down last year with arbitration with Swayman, how do you then just put it out there in the public like, well, he got $64 million, 64 million reasons. And then the agent comes back and like, that's news to us. That's the first we heard of it. Now, the fact that they got 64 million reasons and Swayman didn't say, oh, all right, 8 million. Okay, I can live with that. Now that's a problem. That's a problem. But it may be one of those situations where, like, we've all been in a situation where it's like, if you're going to accuse me of doing something that I'm not doing, eventually I might just up and do it. So it may be a situation where Swayman's like, I might have would have taken 8 million, but since you kind of threw me under the bus publicly, now I don't think I'll take 8 million from you. I think I'll take a trade. Wouldn't surprise me the least. Sybil says, Jaws, apparently the Bruins have been offering him 8 times 6.5, and Swayman wants 8 times 8.5. Well, but 64 is 8 times 8. He wants 8 times 8.5. Frank, no, he's an RFA. He's an RFA. Swayman wants 8 times 8.5. I mean, if I can't quite figure out if that's an overpay, it might be a little bit of an overpay, but considering that they blew Olmark out and they're kind of thinking they want to win a cup now, I kind of would have just given them the 8.5, even though you might want to, 8 times 6.5. Okay, I can see Swayman's point. I can see Swayman's point there a little bit. That's a bit cheap for 8. Now, if they were saying, hey, we'll do 2, if they were offering him 2 times 6 and then saying, prove you can be the starter and we'll give you 10, okay. But 8 times 6.5, they're trying to get off cheap. They're trying to get off cheap there. Oh, hold on. Hey, Eyes. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Eyes. Thank you. He says Swayman is just trying to get out of having to play the Panthers on opening night. He'll sign right after that game. Maybe true. Maybe true. Thank you, Eyes. Vlad says it was 8 times 7.5, and Swayman wants 8.5. Well, then how difficult is that? There's more to it. Not saying that that's wrong, but this is not difficult, right? If the team says 7.5 and Swayman says 8.5, you meet at 8 and you make a deal and you move on, right? That should not be that difficult. 8 times 7.5 is a legitimate deal for him. 8.5 might be a little bit of an overpay, but he also has the potential to be worth that. So why not just make it 8 times 8 and be done? Right? What did I say? Oh, yeah. I said he's just trying to get, trade Swayman to Ottawa for Omar. Now that's funny, but it's funny because, right? Like it would have to, that's so crazy it might work. What did Omar get in Ottawa? Did they give him a deal? What did Omar get? Can you imagine that? Eyes, that's funny, but I don't know if it would work, numbers wise and everything. But that's so crazy. It sounds like, well, wait a minute, hold on. That's not a bad idea. You don't think Omar has a deal yet? Interesting. Trey says Keith Yanda was trolling on Twitter yesterday saying Swayman for Omar. Yeah, I want that. That would be so sweet. I'm in. I'll even go do a video in the recap room pretending to predict it. I'm in. I want that. Colby says low quality Bruins had a great video about the. Okay, I got to check it out. Omar is signed for $5 million, but UFA next year. Meadow says 3-way trade. Omar for Swayman, Knight for Omar for Tippett. Omar for Swayman, Knight for Omar. So that means Knight goes to Boston. No. In that scenario, that has Spencer Knight being the Boston Bruins goaltender, though. No. Think about that, Metal. Think about that. Omar the Swayman, that now Omar is in Boston. Knight for Omar. That has Spencer Knight in Boston. Not interested. No, I'm good. I don't want Tippett back that bad. The newest sitcom, Sweeney and the Bruins. How do you let that happen? Or maybe if on what Vlad is saying, if the team was offering him 7.5 and Swayman wanted 8.5, and that's when they traded Allmark, you got to kind of figure Sweeney figured, all right, we'll meet in the middle at 8 and be done, right? There's got to be more to it there. If they're going to have all of this over $1 million. You split the $1 million. Everybody budgets $500,000. It's done. This shouldn't be that hard. So there has to be something else there. Trey says Sweeney is doing such an awful job, the Penguins are going to hire him. Yeah, whoever said up above that the drama's fun when it's not your team. That's true. That's very, very true. Right? Jeez. And meanwhile, Corpusalo is just kind of sitting back. He's just having a blast with this, right? I mean, what if Corpusala balls out? I know it's hockey, but what if he balls out? Right? You start getting three. Not game one, though. Not game one. Or whatever. We shut him out. We win 1-0 game one. Corpusala makes 39 out of 40 saves. And then you get to game 4, game 5, and Corpusala's got like a 1.1 and a 980. Right? Metal says Zito is watching Sweeney and laughing in his britches. Zito is watching Sweeney and thinking, how can I take advantage of this situation? I guarantee you that Zito's not that good by accident. Like a lot of his moves for us were like, who, what, huh? Where did that come from? But that doesn't happen unless he's sitting back at 2 a.m. on his laptop, blinding himself, going, if I see that situation present, I'm going to snap it up. Right? So, yeah, I would not be surprised if Zito is just sitting there thinking, how can I take advantage of this? Like the Bruins are going to give us anybody. I told low-quality Bruins fan Ekblad for Swayman, but he wasn't interested. We can't afford to lose Ekblad right now. I don't know that we really have any replacements. But no, we'll see. We'll see. It makes good drama, though. Free Zito to keep him alive. Yeah, right? Vlad says, so it's even worse. Apparently, the Bruins offered 7.8 times 8, and 200,000 is the difference, and Swayman declined that? Bro, if that's true, yeah, Metal says Lockwood for Swayman. Then he doesn't want it. Then so he has been negotiating and with what's they call it? False faith. He's not been negotiating in good faith. At this point, he just doesn't want to play in Boston anymore. 200,000. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Trey. Exactly. Oh my God. So here's the question. If you're Ottawa right now, do you pick up the phone and be like, hey, how we doing? I mean, because you already made a deal, right? There's already a relationship there, right? There's already a positive relationship there. So if you are Ottawa right now, do you pick up the phone, and is that legal? Can you trade a player to a team? I don't think it's legal. I think I remember talking about this, not with Sweeney and Omar, but in another situation. I don't think you can trade a team guy to a player team. And then I think you have to wait a certain amount of time or something before you could trade to get them back. Somebody in the comments will know that. Where's Chris Grega, by the way? Chris always knows all these things. He kind of disappeared. I don't know what happened to Chris Grega. I hope he's okay. A couple of times I've had people disappear on me in the channel, and it was because they actually died. So I hope, Chris, if you're watching, say hi, man. I don't remember the last time I seen you. I keep meaning to say something, but he usually knows. Huberto for Swayman. How does that work? So you're getting rid of the aged, way overpriced veteran. So Boston is taking on all that salary. No, I don't think it would work. But Kenneth might be onto something, but there's got to be something else there, right? Value-wise, Boston is giving up an excellent young goaltender and getting an overpriced veteran in return. Calgary would have to at least eat salary. Or send another player, because value-wise, Swayman's worth way more than Huberto. Spaceman, yeah, that's the truth. That's one way to put it. The Dolphins lost yesterday. I says it's going to be weird in Calgary when Lombard goes to shake Hubie's hand with his Panthers championship ring on. Oh, damn. That's cold. That's like meeting your ex at the you're out somewhere and you meet your ex and you shake her hand and she got a wedding ring on. Dude, put Lombard in goal. Yeah, Calgary has no goalie, but there's got to be more than Huberdeau, or they got to eat a bunch of salary, right? Because value-wise, it's not 1-for-1 Huberdeau for Swayman, an overpriced veteran for a good young goalie. There'd have to be something else there in the deal. I mean, Huberdeau and a 1 for Swayman. You still kind of think Boston would want some salary retained, maybe 25%, right? That would, okay, so Huberdeau in a first with 25% salary retained for Swayman. Who knows, right? Because Boston doesn't have any leverage. Omar's gone. If it's actual public knowledge that there's a $200,000 difference and Swayman doesn't want to sign, then everybody knows Swayman doesn't want to be there. So there's no leverage there at all. Meadow says, night for Huberdeau. Night for Huberdeau. Huberdeau for Tibet. Oh, Jesus. Simon says, how do you think about the Panthers cutting down the roster, and who do I think will be cut on our NHL team? Right. It's going to be interesting how that works out. Throwing some Flying Fluffy merch. Simon, and I know somebody else had asked earlier about the bottom 6. I thought to start opening day, I think it's going to be Lundell Luosterainen and Jesper Boqvist. Whether or not that sticks and Samoskevich can never get that job back, I don't know. It was assumed Samoskevich was going to have that job, but he's still in a no-contact jersey a week before the season starts, so he ain't starting the season. Boqvist has looked good, so Samoskevich he may have to wait for there to be an injury in the top 9 to even see an opportunity, right? In terms of the fourth line, it would have been Nosek at 4C. He's hurt. He's not going to be back for a while. So I think you're going to see Patrick Giles get his opportunity there. In terms of who's going to be his wingers, your guess is as good as mine, man. Greer, Lockwood, Gadjevich. I think I would pull from those 3 guys. I think you might see Giles, Gadjevich, and Greer. I think those might be the 3 guys that you would see start on the fourth line. I think Lockwood still makes the team. If Samoskevich isn't ready, I don't know what they're going to do. Put him on IR or whatever. Defensively, Ekblad, I got to say it in the right order. Forsling, Ekblad. I think you're going to see Mikkola with Kulikov and then Schmidt with Boqvist. But you might see some flexibility there with Kulikov and Boqvist. I think Schmidt Schmidt will be this year's Kulikov in terms of being a bottom guy. Swayman for a fluffy mug. Trey says this has been a masterclass in leverage. Who's Swayman's agent? I bet a fish sandwich he has clients in other sports, right? Yeah, it's just been crazy. Just been crazy. Someone says, I thought all NHL rosters have to be by this coming Monday to get the final rosters, in my opinion. What do I think for this coming Monday for the Panthers? What about the other teams? I don't know as much as I would like to know about the cuts for the other teams. There's always surprises, right? Look, anything can happen in terms of somebody being released and Zito being like, oh, I definitely want that guy. But I don't see any real glaring needs to where there would be anything imminent happening, like we would be releasing guys and Zito looking to immediately replace them. I think we've got a lot of depth all the way around. I think we've got a few guys that are going to be going back to the AHL that maybe could stick around on other teams. Belinskis, I don't know what's going to happen there. He might be 70, maybe, right? But in terms of who we're going to cut out Monday, I think some of that's going to depend on where Nosik's health is and where Samoskiewicz's health is. Samoskiewic is obviously waivers exempt. Nosik isn't going to get waived, but if either one of those guys get put on IR, and Nosik, Maurice said that he's not close or it's going to be a long time. So, he may even get put on LTIR, right? Simon wants to know about any possible teams that put people on waivers, right? Do I think we can make any? Probably not. I don't think that we'll be making any waiver claims for anybody that would be, Craig's right about Bournefoot might be 70. Simon, to answer your question, I don't think that we'll be putting in any waiver claims for anybody that would be on the ice on opening day. I think we feel pretty good about who we've got. Now, if we have to waive somebody and they get picked up on waivers that we kind of wanted to keep, kind of like with what happened with Ludwig last year, or did we lose him on waivers? Did we trade him? It was somebody we lost. But I don't think that we will have any need to pick up anybody that would be on the roster opening night. Because I don't really foresee that. I think we like the guys that we have. I hope that answers the question. All right, that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for my voice today. Boy, I lost it. I gotta go wake Kyle up. All right. Thank you all for joining me. I'm having fun doing these suckers at noon with y'all. I appreciate all the super chats and everything. Thursday, I will have the full NHL preview up. And then if I can watch the games, I'll maybe have a recap up of the other ones that we have. And then we're a week away. 1 week away tonight. I love it. All right, everybody. Have a great one. And I'll see you all mañana.